Hello and welcome back. So in this lecture, we are going to add some routes to our Express application. Now, in previous section, in one of the lectures, we learned what do we mean by routing. So the same concepts holds true here also when we are working with Express application. But still, let's revise what do we mean by routing. So routing refers to how your application's endpoint responds to a client request. And a route defines the path like hotels, bookings, rooms, etc. and the HTTP method. So remember that a route does not only consist of the endpoint to which we are making the request, but it also includes the type of request which we are making. So for example, when I want to fetch all the hotel list, I will have to make a get request to slash hotels URL to slash hotels resource. So here the route consists of the HTTP method which I am using plus the resource to which I am trying to make a request. So it is possible that the resource is same, but on that resource you are making different types of request. So in that case, route differs. So when we are making a get request to this bookings resource, it is a different route than making a post request to the same bookings resource. So very important point to understand here is a route consists of the HTTP method plus the resource to which we are making the request, the endpoint to which we are making the request. So in this example, when we are making a get request to this bookings route, it is going to return us all the bookings. But when we are making a post request to this bookings route, in that case, it is going to create a new booking. And when we are making a patch request to this bookings route, it is going to update an existing booking. And when we are making a delete request, that means when the HTTP method is delete, and when we are making a request to this bookings resource, it is going to delete a booking. So it is possible that the resource is same, but the HTTP method which we are using is different. And that's why a route consists of the HTTP method which we are using plus the endpoint to which we are making the request. This is very important to understand. And with this, now let's go ahead and let's create a route in our Express application. So here I'm in my Express application. Now, before I create a route, what I want is first let me stop this service here, which is running our node application. So for that, I can press Ctrl C and I'll type Y here. I'll clear this terminal. And now I'm going to start this node application from this command prompt. Okay, so instead of running it from the VS Code terminal, I am going to run it from command prompt. Now, this is not going to make any difference, but later in this course, when we are going to log something in the terminal, I want to show you that. So if I show you in the command prompt, it will be more visible and here it will be easier to explain. So that's why I'm going to start the node application from command prompt here. And for that, again, I'm going to run npm start command. So our application has started and you can see this message, Express server is up and running. All right, let's go to VS Code and here for now, I'll close this terminal. All right, so this is our server.js file. Here, I'm not going to add the route. Instead, I'm going to add the route in app.js file. Now remember that here we are creating our Express app and from here we are exporting our Express app. And this exported app we are using in server.js. So basically when our application starts, when our web server starts, at that time, whatever routes we have defined in our application, whatever middlewares we have created and attached to the Express app, all those should be available when we are starting the web server. And that's why in the app.js file, whatever we are going to write on the app object, we are going to do it after we have created the app object and before we have exported it. So all the codes like adding routing, adding middlewares, everything we are going to do between these two lines. So that by the time we are exporting this app object, by that time the routing is already defined, the middlewares are already added and all other stuffs are already done. So that before the server starts, the routing is available, the middleware is available, and any other thing which we have added for our Express app on this app object that is already available. Okay, so to add a route on this app object, we have different methods for different HTTP requests. Like if we want to make a GET request, then on this app object, we have this GET method. If we want to make a POST request, then on the app object, we have the POST method. And if we want to make a patch request on this app object, we also have the patch method. And if we want to send a delete request, we also have the delete method. So based on the method which we are using on this app object to create a route, that type of request will be sent to the resource. Here I want to make a GET request. So on this app object, I'm going to use the GET method because I want to make a GET request. And to this method, we need to pass two arguments. The first argument is the endpoint, the URL to which we want to make a GET request. Here, let's say I want to make a GET request to /API/hotels. Okay, so this is the endpoint. This is the resource to which we want to make a GET request. And when a GET request is made on this endpoint, here we are creating a server-side application. So from the client on our web server, we are going to get a request to this endpoint. And whenever we are going to get a request on this endpoint from the client, what do we want to send in the response? That we can specify by passing a second callback function. And this callback function is going to receive two arguments. It is going to receive the request object. So the request which we have received from the client, that request will be assigned to this request parameter, and then the response which we are going to send from the server. So here we have this response object using which we can send a response to the client. Remember that request we are going to get from the client, and we are going to receive a request on the server from the client. So that request, it will be assigned to this request parameter. From that request, we can read its request header, we can read its payload, etc. And then if we want to send a response, then we also have this response object, and using this response object, we can send some response to the client. So here, what I want to do is, whenever a GET request comes to this endpoint, I want to send a response to the client. So for that, using this response object, I have different methods to send a response. So the most simple method is the send method. Using this send method, we can send a response to the client. Here, let's say I want to send a text response saying that you are in hotel list page, something like this. Okay, with this, if I save the changes and if we start our application, so our Express application is up and running, and our Express application is running on localhost port number 3000. So on localhost port number 3000, if we make a request to this resource, we should see this response on the client. So here I'm going to use the browser to make this request. So for that, let's go to the browser, and here I'll say localhost port number 3000. And if I press enter, so since our server is running and we have not defined any route for root URL, that's why we have this message. But here if I say /API/hotels, and if I press enter, you see we are receiving this response, you are in hotel list page. And this is the same response which we are sending from here. Here if I want, I can also send an HTML response. So here I can say h1. So here let me also include a closing h1 tag. And now if I save the changes and if we go back to the browser and if I make a request, now I should see this message as an h1 element. So basically when we use this send method to send a response, based on what type of response we are sending, it sets the content type. So let me actually show you that in the browser. So I will send a plain text here. Let me save the changes. Let's go to the browser. Let's make a request. Before that, let me open developer console and let's go to network tab. Okay, let me make a request here. So a request has been sent to root URL / API / hotels. We have received this response. You can see that request sent here. And if I go to headers and there, if I go to response header, you will see that the content type is set as text/HTML. Actually, let me move it to bottom, and here let's see the request header. So you will see the content type. Okay, not request header. I want to see the response header. You will see the response header. The content type is text/HTML. Okay, so here it is text/HTML. But if I send a JSON response from here, so here I can also send a JSON response. I can send an object like this. In that object, let's say I have status. Let's say status is success, and I have maybe message, and let's say messages all hotels fetched, something like that. So now since I'm sending an object here, this send method will make sure that the content type is set to application/JSON and not text/HTML. If I save the changes now, and now if we go back, so earlier it was text/HTML because we were sending a text message in the response. But now if I reload the page and if we check the response header, and there if we check the content type, you will see that it is set to application/JSON. So this is the advantage which we get when we use send method. Based on the type of response we are sending, based on that, it sets the content type of the response. And here you can also go ahead and set the status code using the status method. So here let's say if I set the status code as 200, so by default it is 200. If you see for this, the status code, if I expand general, the status code is 200. But let's say here if I set the status code is 201, then now in the response, the status code will be 201. So if I expand this request, okay, here method is get, but response you are seeing as 304, not modified. This is because we are sending a get request, but we are expecting a 201 response. That might be the case. So I will try to set the status code to maybe 403. Okay, if I save the changes now, and if I make the request again, now you will see that the status code is 403, which means forbidden. So we can also set the status code for the response explicitly from our Node.js application using the status method on the response. So using the send method, we can send any type of response back to the client, and based on the type of response which we are sending, based on that, the send method will automatically set the content type of the response. But apart from send method, we also have other methods which we can use for sending a response. So for example, we talked about the send method, and it sends a response of any type to the client, and it automatically sets the content type based on what you have passed. So if you pass a text value, it is going to set the content type as text/plain. But if you are passing a JavaScript object to the send method, it is going to set the content type as application/JSON. But we also have different methods for specific type of response. So for example, if you want to send a JSON data in the response, you can explicitly use this response.json method. This JSON method, it automatically sets the content type as application/JSON. So it does not matter what type of data you are sending with the JSON method. In the response, it will always set the content type as application/JSON. Then if you want to send a file from the server to the client, you have another method called sendFile. If you want to redirect a user to another page, let's say to the login page, then you have a method called redirect. And if you want to render something in the UI, for that we have this render method on the response. Now, we will talk about this render method in great detail when we will talk about pug templates in this course. But for now, let's not worry about that. And we also have this end method on the response. And what it does is it ends the response without sending any data. Okay, so if you don't want to send any data in the response, you can simply call this end method. So these are few methods which you can use on the response. In this course, we are mostly going to use this JSON method because since we are going to create a RESTful API in the response, we are mostly going to send JSON data. So that's why I'm going to use this JSON method a lot in this course. And the advantage which we get here is it automatically sets the content type of the response to application/JSON. And that is also important for us. And in the future lectures, we might also see some use cases for this send file, redirect, and render. And we will also see use cases for this in method. But these are the two common methods for sending response from the Express app to the client. So let's go ahead and let's also see the use of this JSON method. So here, since I want to send a JavaScript object in the response, here I can simply use JSON method. And here I can set the status code to 200. Okay, if I save the changes and if I go back and if I make a request again, so here you can see the request, the status code is 200, and here you can also see the response. In the response, we have received an object, and that object is basically a JSON object. Here also, if I click on this pretty print, you will see that here we have a JSON object where we have key value pairs and all the keys are wrapped within double quotes. And since the values are also string values, they are wrapped within double quotes. But here what JSON method did is it converted this JavaScript object to JSON object and that JSON object was sent in the response. Okay. And using this JSON method, if I try to send a text response, for example, test like this, and if I save the changes and if we go back, let me refresh the page. So again, a request has been made. In the response, you can see we have received text, but let's see the headers here. So if I see the response header, you will see that the content type is still application/JSON. So with the JSON method, it does not matter what type of content we are sending in the response. It is always going to set the content type to application/JSON. Okay. So here we have created a route for get request to this URL. In the same way, we can also create a post route. So whenever we make a post request to the URL, let's say post. So whenever we make a post request to the same endpoint, there also we might want to do something. So for that, we can create a route like this using this post method. And if you want to update something, we have patch and put method on this app object. And when we want to delete something, we have delete method on this app object. So using these methods, we can create different types of routes on the same resource. And we are going to talk about this in great detail in our coming lectures when we are going to create different API endpoints in our Express application. But now, in the next few lectures, I am going to cover some theoretical topics. So basically, in the next few lectures, we will have a theoretical overview of what is a static and dynamic website and what is an API-powered website. And we will also learn about the RESTful APIs and its principles. And after that, we will come back to this project and we will start implementing routes and middlewares. Okay, so this is all I wanted to cover in this lecture. In this lecture, I just wanted to give you a high level overview of what is a route and how we can implement a route in an Express app. If you have any questions from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.